Hey everyone, I got my show coming up. Let me just get this going here. Got my show coming up here in just a little bit, but what I wanted to do is put a special announcement out for folks in California, our clients, water system operators, geologists, hydrogeologists, engineers, and drillers. Is the California Governor Gavin Newsom really signed Executive Order N-7-22 on March 28th, and we knew that this was drought actions, and we knew there was a bunch of stuff in there, and we've been looking at that. But I wanted to draw your attention to one thing that's really, going to be significant for those of us that are in the water supply business. And so let me just bring that up here. And this is the copy of the executive order. We're going to unpack this in more detail in next week's Groundwater Talk live show, but this is important to people that are in the business of producing water. So I really wanted to get this out to people as soon as possible. So this is executive order, and it goes through all the whereases, of course, why we're doing this and all that. And what's really important here is it gets down that this is the order, and it goes through a bunch of different things. And like I say, we're going to go through this in more detail next week. But what we really want to do is get down here to item number 9 here, and this is what's really important to people because what they're saying is. As part of this emergency order, this executive order is to approve a permit for a new groundwater well or for alteration of an existing well. And alteration for an existing well is not defined anywhere in here that I can see. I'll go back and look, but I don't think it's in there. In a basin subject to the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act, or SGMA, and classified as medium or high priority, without first obtaining written verification from a groundwater sustainability agency managing the basin or area of the basin where the well is proposed to be located, that groundwater extraction for the proposed well would not be consistent with any sustainable groundwater management program established in any applicable groundwater sustainability plan adopted by that groundwater sustainability agency. It would not decrease the likelihood of achieving a sustainability goal for the basin covered by such a plan. This has some big implication, but item B here, issue a permit for a new groundwater well for alteration of an existing well without first determining that extraction of groundwater from the proposed well is one, not likely to interfere with the production and functioning of existing nearby wells, and two, not likely to cause subsidence that would adversely impact or damage nearby infrastructure. There is an exception for wells that produce less than 2 acre feet per year of groundwater, so more domestic wells and maybe some really small water districts fit in there. But what's going to happen here is this is going to add hugely to your permitting costs for wells in these areas. And we're talking, the alluvial basins like Sacramento Basin, San Joaquin Basin, some of these areas that are defined as medium to high priority. So there's a lot of basins in California. So a lot of alluvial wells are going to be covered by this, which basically means the Groundwater Sustainability Agency in that area holds the fate of your permit in their hands, and they're going to require that you do a study to determine that the well does not interfere with other wells in the area and it's not likely to cause subsidence. This is really going to add to the permitting time and the cost because generally doing an interference study isn't that bad, but how do you go about saying that we're not likely to cause subsidence? So this none of these things are really defined in here, so it'll be up to the Groundwater Sustainability Agency to determine that. And this is really going to slow down new well construction. And the other thing is alteration of an existing well. What does that consist of? Well, we don't know. Does that include well rehabilitation? Um, I would hope not, but it's like I say, it's not defined in here that I can see in my reading of this, and I'll dig a little deeper on that. But that could be a huge deal too. So I'm assuming that it probably doesn't. This does not apply to well rehabilitation, but we really need to look at that and see because this could be a huge deal. Anyway, that's something I wanted to bring to everybody's attention. You can look at that and and go back and see how that impacts you. But we've been hearing from a lot of people that the drillers especially that this is really upsetting the apple cart, and for people that want to put in new wells, at the very minimum, it's going to add to the paperwork and the process and the time. But at the maximum, you just may not get, if you're in a severely overdrafted basin, you probably are not going to get a permit to drill a new well, which, as I've been saying, and a lot of other people have been saying, is that this really means that your existing wells are that much more valuable, and you really want to take care of them and make them last for as long as possible, because you don't want to get in the situation where you need a new well and you're not able to get a permit for that. So that's something we've been looking at, is that it would fall out of Sigma eventually, and it looks like it's coming under the guise of protecting these basins from the effects of drought. So that's what I wanted to get out there to you today, and I appreciate you listening. I do have my show coming up here in a little bit, Groundwater Talk Live. So we're going to cover some questions on common well questions today. So you can tune in at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central. That's coming up, and you can catch me here on LinkedIn or the Groundwater Guy YouTube channel. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you a little bit on the show.